Hey everyone, welcome to week 14. We are in the midst of our pre-Columbian unit and really counting down to the end of the semester, but still with some really kind of cool things to get accomplished and to share with each other. This, I want to say at the beginning and I'll reiterate at the end, you've completed your busts and we will receive them in the studio this Tuesday between 1 and 3. And if you can't arrange to drop it off yourself, maybe you can have somebody else do it. And if it's a big problem, make sure that you contact me, email me or something. We got to figure something out to get it in the studio, drying and firing this week. If you would like to have it fired, bisque fired, in time to have it glaze fired, to have it done by the end of the semester. Not the end of the world. And, there's other, we can still finish it for you even if it goes beyond the semester. But I just want to make sure if you'd like to have it done by the end of the semester, you can have it done, bisque fired and glaze fired, okay? That's what I'm saying. Okay. And of course, as you know, that's optional. You don't have to have your work fired, but most people do want it fired. All right. Here's what you're going to do this week. It's a jam-packed week, but I'm kind of proud of the content of this week. First of all, you're going to view the last of our installment of formal aesthetics, what's art? And it's about context and meaning. So I have a lecture on that. And it's what I'd like you to do is watch it. It's in 2 parts just because of the timing and stuff. But anyways, they're about 10 or 12 minutes each, something like that. But watch both, and there's some things I'd like you to glean and take note of, and just so watch it and respond. So that's the first thing to do, because the content of that video, context and meaning, will be important in finishing your assignment. So then you go to R&D, your research and development, and this directly applies to, of course, the lecture, and what the lecture outlines and will help you immensely to finish this. And what you'll do is you'll be collecting examples based on the lecture. So that's self-explanatory. I'll let you figure that one out. But this is kind of Mark's parting shot as far as formalism goes. This lecture, and then your response to the lecture. Okay, so that's kind of the R&D and lecture and stuff like that. All right, clay work. If you're done with your bust, you're going to bring in your bust. What you're going to do this week, you've already researched your ritual vase. This week, you're going to make it. You're going to complete it and post it. You have 1 week. And this is kind of a synthesis project. This is kind of an example. So what have you learned? You can use any of the techniques that we've used all of the semester, any of them. You can combine them in any way you want. But having made a lot of stuff already, you'll look at the assignment, you'll look at your drawings and say, okay, if I build this solid, weight, hollow it, put it together, and then I use slabbing and then make the spout. And if I, maybe use coiling for a little something, maybe I use pinching for a little something. Anyways, the idea of the information of techniques is that you learn them and try them out so that you can synthesize them and use them to make what you want. And so there isn't a specific demonstration on how to make a ritual vase. You get to decide what techniques you want for this. Okay, so that's your project. I did list all of the videos, well, I attached all the videos to the assignment that are applicable, how to hollow, how to coil, how to use slabs for basic things. So you can go back and use them for reference, but you don't have to look at all those videos. There's no response to them, but they might be helpful as you plan. How am I going to make this thing? I only have a week. I need to get started, and I suggest you get started soon, especially if you're working solid. If I was doing it, I would work solid. I would take a ball of clay about the size of a grapefruit, and I would make it into the form that I want, right? And I'd let it sit for a while, maybe overnight, in plastic, watch it, tend it like you're a babysitter. And then when it's leather hard and you're sure it's 90% what you want, cut it, hollow it, put it back together, then let it sit for a while, then finish it to, more like 99%. Then put your spouts and your base or whatever you want on it then. So if I was going to do it, that would be my strategy. But other people might think, no, I'm going to build a coil pot. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a coil pot and just do that. That's perfectly fine. Or, no, I know how I can build a slab cylinder and I can stretch it out and make my form with that. You choose it. You decide. You're going to explain it to us how you figured it out later. All right. So your job, your clay project this week, you're to make and complete and post your ritual bottle. Okay. Last, you're going to write it up, and when you write it up, what I'd like you to do is give an explanation. You've made it something that is not a replica from pre-Columbian work. It is a contemporary piece. It has contemporary relevance. It has contemporary context. Woo! Just like the lecture. All right, so I want you to explain what the contemporary context is of your piece. And then you'll be responding to each other, and you can read about that, but you'll also be trying to elaborate on and or give your insights into their context. Okay. Finally, the last reading of the semester, and this is the last major reading, is on a part of a book by Jared Diamond, and the title of this is Collapse. And I find it to be a fascinating and relevant read, not only because it's about pre-Columbian culture and society, but also because it's incredibly relevant to us in these times of ecological and environmental pending problems, right? So the reason for the collapse of the Mayan culture was as much about warfare and bickering, but it was always the undercurrent of all that, and the cause of all that was scarcity that was created by a certain mismanagement of stuff. All right. Anyways, Jared Diamond does a great job of research in this, and it's a really great scholarly work, but it also sheds light on what it was like to be alive and living in the Mayan culture and the work of which you are vibing on right now, right? Okay. So read that article, have your study guide out, and fill that out, take the quiz, and ace it. Okay, that's it for this week. Your main things are to, watch the lecture, do your clay work and post it, your ritual vase, and to complete your last readings and post it. And we'll take it on next week with some no more readings, but next week we have some really cool videos. And coming attractions will be Dia de los Muertos, which we'll start talking about, Day of the Dead. Okay. And this is also your last clay project this week. This one is your last clay project, but there is one more creative project that you'll do at the very last week, which will have to do with Dia de los Muertos. I'll leave it a mystery. All right. Hope you're having a good week, and I will talk to you again soon. Okay. Goodbye.